you also won a lot of games at East Carolina amid some very different times in
Yes.
Pirate football, especially on the conference side. You go 8 wins, 10 wins, 8 wins in your second year in the American, which I don't know, was only a light year or so more difficult than the old Conference USA.
Yes.
But you have one tough season and then it goes away. But the one big challenge that I think that you faced, and this comes from a former AD, is that you were
Yes.
hired by a guy that I worked for as well, and Terry
Yeah.
Holland. I worked for him
Yeah.
at Virginia. And this was a guy who had been a coach and an AD. He
Yes.
understood what you went through.
Yes.
You were not so fortunate in the next person, who I also know very well, who was the AD, but was not from that coaching ranks. Not to say that you have to be a coach to be an effective AD, but sometimes it gives you a little pause before making what would seem to be a knee-jerk reaction. And this is my editorial comment. In doing my prep for this interview and just being a fan of Ruffin McNeill from afar, I look at that as maybe the worst decision of any football program in the history of North Carolina college football, is letting you go and then bringing in the person afterwards that was an unmitigated disaster. I mean, an unmitigated disaster. Everything that you had built it up, I'm just going to say it so you don't have to. Everything that you had built up was systemically like taken down. And I know that had to just eat at you, but maybe that was some of the fuel that has kept you going to keep making a positive impact, maybe not as a head coach, but in other roles, because that's where your values from your mom and dad in Lumberton came through. It's about making a difference in any way, any role that you have the opportunity to fill.
You know, I appreciate that, and I'm humbled. It was hard for my family. We it's one of those things that you wonder what would happen. And Mike, you and Jim know this, that we had already had it primed with the replacements for quarterback. The first, people don't know this, I never talked about it much, but we lost our first team quarterback, Kirk Benkirk, a week before the season. No contact, anything, ACL, out for the year. Same week, lost a backup quarterback that last year. Same next week, same thing. So now we're playing at Florida with the third team quarterback, and it was tough. We're swimming, but I felt like, what, just let's change the mode. We were thinking this, let's keep working, and but I felt like if we had opportunity, we won 5 that last year, eligible for a bowl game during that time, was told we were not going. I accepted that. The other thing my mom and dad taught me, was, hey, take the high road, even though it was hard. Take the high road. And I learned from my mentor, Donnie Duncan, rest his soul, get home and get around the girls, early in the girls, and quick as you can, and let them know what's happening. So it was a tough deal, painful, but I agree with you, Mike. It drives me right now every day. They say, why do you get up so early in the morning and be to work? Because I want to see those kids. They might need me. One of them might need to talk to me or something. And I'm there for Dave, the rest of the coaches, just like Rope-a-Dope. I call him Rope-a-Dope. I call him Rope. I got nicknames for everybody. But Kurt comes by, ball coach, this morning and says, hey, Jim said call him. Boom, no problem with me. Looking forward to the talk. And it's still a challenge for me. This is when I made a decision. When I can't reach the kids, I know it's time for me to go. If I can't grab them, and what I tell them doesn't mean so far. I love these kids where I am, and they've been fantastic. Dave's been great to work with and work for, and the staff, as you two know, which makes the whole
no doubt
deal work. You got to. I get to go to work. I got to go to work. Well, I get to go to work. Just like you two working together. Y'all are a great pair. I couldn't wait to come on tonight to get to do this with you guys. So thank you for that, Mike. and it does drive me. You know, that's the competitive side. And at the same time, I want to make sure I give this profession that has been so good to all three of us, and live it the right way, do it the right way.